No, I'm gonna start. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I would have actually figured it out. Alright. Thank you. There. Let's get started. Side. It's just missing. Okay. Let's jump into it. So today, what we want to do is have a look at some of these tasks. So I'll zoom in for everyone. There we go. So one of the things we want to do is to be able to archive a single card. Alright, so we want to come in and be able to archive one of these cards. Pretty simple task. Alright. There goes socks. You got up and everything. Okay. Oh, just walk away. Cool. Alright. Now. We're just running npm run watch, make sure our code compiles. I'm getting the source of the Python environment, and then I'm just running the server. Alright. I can tell that compiled. Alright, let's jump into it. So if we list all, scroll down, and everyone can see this. Oh, cardboard. Alright, we'll keep it simple. A new card. Yes. This card. Okay. So one problem straight off the bat is if we have a modal, we can't keep stacking modals on top of modals. So if we go archive card, what we want to do is we want to close this modal and then open up another modal. So that will have to be that. And on that extra modal, we'll need to pass through some information. So let's bring up our view stuff. Okay. Yes, sucks. You like Twitch. Alright. So as we can see, there's a Kanban information. We've got the card information here. So we've got all the little different things in here. Another thing is, no, we do want a modal. We want a check modal type of thing. So I'm just wondering where I can place that in regards to everything. Okay. Kanban information. This goes down into Kanban board. This then goes down into so at the Kanban information that we have the Kanban card information. So I'm thinking it should belong under here. So, there's card information. Ooh, sorry. Problem is, it's kind of hard putting it in here. And the reason why it's hard to put it in here is because this is already in modal. Which means, you know, we're going to find... Just give me 2 seconds, and this is why we've got Kanban information open up to, is we can see that card information is being ported down. So if I actually have it up here, we could potentially utilize that card information also at the same time. And then all we're doing is we're just closing the card information and activating the Kanban board thing. So we need a new view. And what we're going to call is confirm card archive.view. Alright. And we're just having a simple template in here. We have a simple script in here. Bang that up. Import define component. Alright. So that will be down here. That's actually just left us. So export default. Confirm card archive. Right. Cool. We are not pulling in any components at the moment, but we will be shortly. But we do need props. Okay, so that's all we need at the moment. What I will actually do, 4, 5, 6. So I'll just copy all that. Making sure there's no footer. Right, a footer. Alright. It's no problem. Bang it in there like that. Actually, do we need a modal footer? We probably don't need a modal footer at all. So close should reclose this and reopen up the card information. And let's I'm just seeing if we have dark, no. Just seeing if we've got colors for the mobile. No, we don't. So here, div class equals alert danger. What we need to do is key in here, please note archiving the card cannot be undone. And then essentially what we want here is div class equals strong. Are you sure you want to delete the following card? Alright, and then I gotta have strong, and then what I've got to do is card number, and then strong, and then what I need to have here is insert card number, which we'll do in a minute. We're just getting this to look, the layout looking well. Div class row, strong, card title, and strong, and then insert card title, div. I think that should be enough at the moment. At the moment, we'll keep this data BS dismiss in here, but in reality, what we'll do is we'll just tweak everything. I just want to get this up, looking up nice and all that kind of stuff. Let's save that. Okay. So what we need, import card affirm from confirm card archive.view. So that would be it. Components down here, that would be confirm card archive. Cool. So this was connecting to here. And then I want to put it after. So we've got one called archive cards, which is fine. And what we'll do is and then we've got to have vbind card information equals card information. Alright, sweet. I think that's all we need for the moment. We need something to trigger it. So this is where we go into card information. And if we have a look, we've got close, we've got update card, we can have archive card next to update card. But I believe all of these are actually inside each component. So that's add note, that's update card. Let's put it here on this page at the moment. So it should be under card details. So what am I going to do? Going to put this over here, that's fine, and then card details. Right. Might be into modules. Submodules. No. Card information. Card details. So down here. We are essentially copying this. All right. So we just need to make a function called archive card under the methods. So at the moment, archive card function, and what we want to do is we want to actually open up that. We want to close this particular. We want to do this, like so. So close the current modal. And then open up the archive card modal, which I need to find out how to do again. We just borrowed examples. All right, so const, this would actually be confirm archive, card archive. And then in here, just do that. Bang that in like that. We don't need that information at the moment. That would be lowercase. And then we figure out the last bit of the command. Show. We could probably put that in one line, but at the moment, let's just keep it like this. Ah. All right. And we've broken something. Cool. Can't access client width. Okay, so we've just broken something. Failed to resolve icon. Oh, we need to import the icons. For that, we'll do this just to fix up the these yellow errors. All right, cool. It looks like we fixed up the yellow errors and that solved everything. So we've got archive card. Now, should have a little bit more space. So if someone clicks on this, oh, we have now bootstrap is not defined. Ah, yes, we forgot to define it. That is something we can quickly define. So that's under card details. Now, should be something like that. And then when we go down to the methods, it should be bang, bang. In fact, yeah, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Okay, cool, reload. Okay. Don't know why it didn't click that. That being said, we might have had to done that. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, we need to do it on here too. So this would be card, confirm, card, archive, modal, close button. Alright, we're getting a mouthful there. Okay, let's hit refresh. Perfect. Closes what we want, opens up what we want. We don't need to worry about anything more. And then we've got the yes, no type of stuff going on. And then if someone X's out, that's perfectly fine. No, go back. What we'll do is we'll do that in reverse. So we'll close this and then reopen up the other modal. And the other modal should still have this information within it, because the card information has not changed. We do need to fix up this. Actually, Div class row should work. I don't want to put this in the table. Ah, yeah. Okay. And hello, Nocturnal. I have an echo. Oh, no. Okay, that's not good. What about now? Hopefully I fixed it. I think I know what it was. When I looked over at my audio mixer, it looks like desktop sounds and mic auxes. Okay, cool. Can you still hear the music? It is very quiet though. Oh, good. Alright, so I just forgot to put in this. So what we need here would be the card information dot no music. Alright, let me do the switcheroo.
Okay, what about now? I should have music coming through. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Card information. Let's have a look at what information is passing through. Oh, good. Ah, sweet. All right. I just picked the wrong audio mixer to select. All right. This is taking a while. Okay, that should fit our card information with. Object, no, that's data. Cut details. So I'm just having a quick think. Vuex bindings. Title. And hello, Pepvin. How are you? That's what I look like according to my wife. Sweat. Ah. I do like the little thumbs up in it. Where's the hacker one? Oh, okay. Yeah, I like the one. Those are really good emojis. No. And I forgot to follow. There. Also, I have socks here. Well, there you go. You're very talented. I've only taken photos of my cats. So my emojis are just photos of my cats. I am meaning to upload a few more cat photos. So my mum got 2 new cats recently. She had one pass away earlier this year, which I'll also put it in. So yeah. Okay, so I'll probably need to pull in information for this to work. Because if I click on this, none of that information passes through. Refresh. If I'm at the Kanban board, I don't have any information about the card. Yeah. I especially like the sassy one. You drew your cats? No. Yeah, I know. She was pulling that face one day when I was just sitting on the couch. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a photo of this. All right, so I've screwed up. We don't have card information coming in, so I think in this sort of case, we don't need the props. What we actually need is the computed. Oops. That's an object, right? And then we need map getters. So import map getters from VueJS. There's map getters. It's a function with an object in it. And then what I need is I need card ID. That should be get card ID. And then card title. And that should be get card title. If I've done that right. Fox, on the other hand, is very not sassy. She's just like, I feel lazy at the moment. Oh, don't get up, sweetie. You can still stay there. All right. So in theory, that should work. And then we need to get rid of this card information and just have card ID. And this one we'll need div class equals col, and that, make sure that is doubled up. And card title like so. And that should compile. Okay, cool. Problem is, I don't want the columns that far apart. I kind of want them right next to each other. Which just means I've just got to do this, really. And have it all in one column. Like so. All right. Let's hit reload. Double click this. Yes, I know I've got to fix that in a minute. So that's looking really good. So we've got that card number 2. Please archive this card. If we click yes, we'll get it to do stuff. Otherwise, yeah. Okay, let's fix up. Let's fix up this one. And what we want to do is with this archive card, we want to have a margin on the left. Let's start 12 pixels. 12 pixels is fine. And now I've got to remember where my sass is. Sass. Common, no components. All right, what I'm looking is for save changes. The reason being is that's where I'm keeping most of the buttons and stuff like that. So what I can do is after that is archive card and then have margin left 12 pixels. Everyone's a Padaroo. These are the festival ones you drew on the weekend. Oh, okay. Sorry, I read that backwards. Ah, you are very talented. I do like the little cat one. I'm assuming that's a just wait, what is that? Padaroo, just making sure that's a type of cat. Padaroo. Oh, okay. No. I'm thinking of something else then. No, don't worry. But they are very nice. Very good looking. Anyway, sorry. I did see the redeem cat treats. All right. I can still draw stick figures and that's about it. When it comes to drawing. All right, Socks, in your bed. In your bed. Socks, in your bed. Yep, in your bed. Good girl. She's a bit confused. She's like, what? What am I doing? There we go. Max. Padaroo was a Christmas meme from the Fate series of games. Oh, okay. I did not know that. And I don't think I played that. Oh, no, sorry, Zox, that was just water. Oh, don't you want to stay there? All right, cool. She's still on the desk. And now she just walked back into her bed. I had no idea what it was. I was just asked to draw it up fair enough. Okay, I am just gonna refresh. Perfect. Click on that. All right, let's do the no go back and program that one in first. Sorry, Socks is just licking the hell out of my hand. She's like getting every single treat crumb. Try and putting two words together at once doesn't work. All right, cool. Card archive. Confirm card archive. This one. All right. So what we need to do is we need to get rid of that. And Socks just ran away. Sorry. Just get back. Get off the top of my head. There we go. So I'm gonna lay these out just a little bit. V on click equals, this one would be archive card. It won't do anything at the moment, but that's perfectly fine. And then with this one, V on click equals, let's say go back. Okay, so down here, all we need to do is the methods. That is an object. So we've got archive card, which will be a function, nothing inputs into it, and we'll do that. Yep, cool. And then go back, which is function. Bless you, Max. All right, so what we need to do is close current modal. We'll also need to import modal from bootstrap. Okay, cool. So the current modal has this. So this is my little cheat, because you can do this in JavaScript, but get element by ID. You can just click on the element. Open previous modal. All right, so this is where we need to do the const modal equals modal dot get l. Seeing what the code is. No, I've new modal hashtag, and then what I want to do is I want to open up this. So I'm just copying and pasting that in, and then modal.show, and then this should close. That should be fine. So now we wait, we refresh, we go, yeah, we want to archive, whoops, clicked on that, no, go back. Bang, perfect. All right, that worked way too well. Okay. Now that's fine. You sure you want to delete the following card? Yep, yep. I will not delete, archive the following card, because we won't necessarily allow people to delete, because archiving a card will work just as well. All right. As for archiving the card, we need to do something more complicated. We need to actually send that card's ID to the back end for that to be archived. So let's explore, let's go up into our NearBeach stuff. So we'll quickly do some Django stuff. So we've got the URLs. So I'm gonna put this all the way up here. It will be part of cards. Oh, we don't have anything for cards. Do we have a view for cards? No, we don't. So it must be under Kanban. So Kanban columns, we've got the edit, delete, Kanban. We've got archive cards. Now we just need a singular one. In fact, I'm just wondering if it's going to cause us confusion later on. And it really should. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We should. Famous last words. Should be fine. Archive Kanban card. Right. So that's going to break. Things are not going to work. So what we want to do is it's going to have the same permission. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, meant to actually do it on this level. So what I'm going to do is archive a single Kanban card. That way people will be like, all right, cool, singular. And in this sort of case, we need to send back a form, don't we? Oh, okay. We also need the form. So I'm just opening up forms. We're finding the Kanban side of things. Which will be further up. One day I might see if I can split up these forms into smaller forms. So yeah, I'm not scrolling through every single one. So with the Kanban card form, that's fine. Kanban card archive form. Oh, I can use it because it's Does this also mean at the same time I could reuse existing functionality? Okay, request post, no errors, card list equals to card list. In card list, update archive equals true. I believe I could just utilize the same functionality. I don't need to do anything. All right, this is even better. This means I won't need this. That's right, I do need the forms though, just to double check a couple of things. So, Kanban card ID, all right. So, down here, create data to send. So, I'm just gonna check what I did in archive cards. Because if I want to keep the same functionality, I should keep what I've done in here. So I've got data to send. And then I've grabbed all the data and then I've appended it. So I haven't set it, so I've appended it, which will work perfectly fine. And then I've got a VueJS component which just removes it. So I also need to mutate the data. And then I've got to hide the thing. And then I've got to commit the change. And then I send up the data. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to put this over here just for reference. I don't need the vast majority of it. I just need this. So what I want is const data to send equals new form data. And then what I need to do is append the Kanban card ID, not set, as the form is expecting an array / list. Okay, so data to send dot append, and then Kanban card ID, and then this will actually be this dot card ID. Sweet. Now, at the moment, I'm gonna do a to-do update UX to remove single card. How easy is access to set up? I made a PSE the other day. I just use the built-in fetch. I find it pretty easy. So for me to actually set up, this is actually a really good time. Import Axios. How do I import it actually? Because this is how I do it. So what I do, bang it in like this. Constant Axios equals require Axios. And then down here, it's just as simple as going Axios.post. It's an object. Oh, no, sorry, not an object. Sorry, it's a function. It's a function where there's a URL, data to send, and other things which I don't use. We've got then a response, then where response is a function, which we won't need because everything happens beforehand, and we've got a catch. And then I've got a to-do return show card error. So it's pretty easy to set up and use, and that's why I just use it, because it's just done. Okay. So what I'm actually doing is I'm just going to copy this one line. So it's in like that. Because it's the same URL. Now, I've just got to check what's happening in the Vuex side of things. So, SAS down, Vuex store. I've got to split these up eventually into separate files, because this is starting to get really, really big, and spending the probably maximum 2 hours, touch wood, maximum, on splitting these out will actually save me a lot of time later down the track, because I won't spend so long trying to find things in here. So we've got archive cards, state. Update archive destination. Oh, okay, so that just sets that to 0. That's perfectly fine. I'm not changing anything whatsoever. Exclude. Okay, cool. So we've got archive cards in here. And I mocked up that. Okay, cool. So this is under the Kanban module. So archive cards. We've got the state and payload. And that's just a simple don't know why I have so many gaps there, but that's fine. Payload will contain both column level thingies. That's just making sure that, yeah. And that's just updating the Kanban card results. So in this sort of case, we're doing a similar thing where we're making sure that the Kanban card ID doesn't equal the same. So what we want to do is we want to archive card, state and payload. Okay, cool. Then what we want to do, there is inconsistencies in here. I've got two, all right, I'll have to do 2. In the meantime, const card ID equals payload.card ID. Simple as that. That's what we need to go through. And then filter out the card with the card ID. That's as simple as state.kanban card results equals state.kanban card results.filter row return row.card ID does not equal card ID. That should also be a pass int, just in case it turns into a string. All right, it should be that. It should be that simple. So when we go here to DoX, remove the single card, what we want to do is mutate the data to exclude the archived card. And then what we need to do is this $store.commit, and this is an object where type equals archived card. And then we've got card ID is this .card ID. That's all we need. Close the modal. Send the data to backend. Document.get element by ID. Click. Right, and then I'm just scrolling up here, and this is going to be a very, very, very small sort of. This is under 100 lines just, which is pretty cool. Okay. Should refresh. Okay, we hit an error. 404 not found. Undefined. Yep. All right. No. So we want to go back down to the URL. This root URL. I don't have the root URL in here. So that is my bad. So root URL, and that's just get root URL. Simple mistake. Just hitting refresh. Archive this card. I don't see any errors, but it didn't update upstream. So let's. Okay. And what I want to do, we didn't see any errors come back. So we're just going to make sure this one is working. That's why I'm just doing that for the moment. Okay, so we've got card ID, VueJS, and then console log payload, and then doing let's go card ID, and then card ID. All right. It's been a minute. Okay, that's good news. Console log row. I might have gotten something wrong in here. So let's just do it like that. Do refresh. Let's PK. All right. So it's part of the primary key. And that's why it didn't show. Okay, waiting a second. Let's hit reload. Archive this card. Archived. Yes, archive. Perfect. Done. Now we just got to make sure that it gets sent to the back end. That's just us. Oh, Jesus, my mouse just went funky. Like so. All right. Cool. No, I'm happy with that. That design, we could work on that. Like, yeah, let's do that. All right. I'm happy with that. An archive card that will archive away. Presto. All good. All right. So I'm just having a quick think. All right, let's push this. Sorry, I'm just bringing out the terminal. Zoom in for everyone. Yeah, I know that I'm running this in here. I'll just cancel it. Git status. Git checkout. NearBeach static. I'm not going to push the static up at the moment. Okay, git add source, add NearBeach, git status. I'm trying not to make sure I accidentally send up my VS Code stuff. Git commit. All right, this would be card. $137. All right, sweet. This one is now in review and QA. Update card. Delete cards and links. Oh, maybe I did want to. Not a single card. Let me just double check the code. No, that's part of the view. What I want is I want Kanban view. Archive cards is archive equals true. Okay. I'm gonna put this in blocked for the moment. I'm gonna add in a note being like, currently you can archive a single card. Why do we need to delete them? I was meant to go over into blocked. I think that's because I didn't update the card. Whoops. Assign cards to users. All right, this might need a little bit more work. Because currently groups are set at the Kanban board level. My kitten smells kitchen. I don't know why I just read that as kitten. I am sorry. My kitchen smells delicious. Ooh, define delicious. It's going out to your cat. Smells like cinnamon. All right, assigning cards to users. This one we need a little bit of thought about what we need to do. We're probably going to need a new tab over here, like a brown ale beef stew. Oh, nice, nice. I've once done a stout stew before, so I made my own stout, and then I decided to slow cook some beef, I do believe, some big massive steaks and potatoes in it for 8 hours, I think it was. And hello, ready, okay, go. How are you? Stop it. Are we talking about the stopping about talking food? I'm drilling. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I ate before stream, so yes, I'm no longer hungry, which is good. Usually just before stream we actually get our food, and I'm like, oh, as I'm starting my stream, I'm eating. So yeah. So giving permissions to users or assigning these to users, we kind of want to do a couple of things. So first off, we kind of want to sort of state, hey, this user, when someone clicks on here, it'll appear up here, but we also want to kind of assign it as a flag down here, being like, these are the ones assigned to you. So yeah, we've got to think about that. We've got to think about that graphically, like how we want to actually present it, but also at the same time, how we're going to do it programmatically. Because a lot of this information is structured in the sense that I don't have access to that information. Oh wait. I just got to rerun the watch. So give me a couple of seconds. I'll let the watch rebuild. And how are you? Ready? Okay, go. I hope you're going well. So welcome. We are fixing up the Kanban board. Do you have the ability to add more than one user to a task? Yes. Yes, we do. And I am going to be doing that for the Kanban board too. So the idea is, let's say there's a tab here, someone will click on it, and then something similar. Oh, I haven't fixed that bug. Something similar to, I only got one user at the moment, but something similar to this where I can add in more users to the projects. So you're doing well, working or relaxing with stream in the background. Fair enough. I do that all the time. And I realized I was in prod when doing that, and prod is actually a fair, I need to update my prod environment very shortly. Let's go into everyone can access. So groups and users, kind of like you can go, all right, I want to add this user in, and this user, and this user, something similar to this. Not programming though. Oh, fair enough. All good. That way each card can have multiple users assigned to it. But I want to be able to, because I don't want each user lining up being like, oh, you're assigned. I kind of want it like a little flag being like, hey, you're assigned to this card, like, for example, assign me to a card. I should be working, but I'm late getting up, so I'm making cat breakfast. Fair enough. Kind of like, let's have a border to the left. Let's do it as blue, solid, 5 pixels. Kind of like that. So something that just is like, all right, cool, this is your card. And sorry, I'm just seeing your emoji. Aww. I like your emoji. So yeah, just something kind of subtle. It might not be on the bottom left because we might leave that for something else for the top. Because then it doesn't matter if we have like a 12 pixel one being like, hey, this is your card. We could bottom. Oh no, that. Now I'm just playing around with it. All right. I don't like it like that. I like it like that. Something simple. Yeah. It's a furry one. Oh, fair enough. Something like a cat waiting for its owner. Could have a different border for your cards. Yeah. I don't want to do a complete border around. Just because I have the feeling later on I might do something like border, let's say left, red, solid, 5 pixels, to indicate that it's a higher priority. However, I haven't quite. Yeah. I just haven't figured out how I want this to look. And this is why we're just talking about it right now. We're just throwing back and forth ideas. I could get rid of that and instead up here use something like span style, color is, I don't know, I'm just going to go pink just for fun. Assigned to me. Okay, that didn't work as I expected. Okay, the pink doesn't work, but that is also another option too. And if we have another card in there, Frank's card, like so, it does sort of pop out. So does that. But if I remove that and have it like that, and then I can still have the red borders for when later on I program in that functionality of being like, no, this is actually a higher task. Bam. Or just color coordinate stuff. So yeah. Yeah, definitely. I kind of like this because it's clean. We can easily see what's assigned to us and what isn't. And I know with that number, it's got to be a really, really, really big number before I worry about that actually getting hindered. So I no more space on that thing. And I very, very much doubt it will happen to many people, because if we have a look, we type in, let's say 100,000, there's 100 million, there's 100 billion, even 100 billion. I don't foresee people reaching that number with the amount of cards they will put in the system. Like, you would have to be... I'll be reaching other problems, let's just say that. More important problems if they had that many cards in this system. Because I think these are ints, so I think this would reach the limits of that. Yes, hello, Hobo Tutor, how are you? So this is NearBeach. So I've been working on an open source project management system for a number of years now. Decided back in 2020, in August 2020, that it needed a rewrite. So we are currently fixing that up. And I don't know why that is not working. Is it meant to be NearBeach? Yeah, the bot's not. Night bot. I tell you what, I'm just copying what the Nightbot said just before and just pasting it in. So there we go. So yeah, today we're trying to figure out how I can visually tell someone that one of these cards is assigned to them. So what we want to do is be like, all right, cool, this card, it is assigned to you. Here we go. We've also got to figure out with the cards, be like, all right, we've got these cards, how do we programmatically assign them to people? Color of the card. Currently there is... Oh, I did not mean to do that on that screen. You can... Well, I haven't actually purposely done any colors on the cards, just because if we grab our background color and start just cycling through, some of these colors would look nice, others won't. And I don't really want to program in the ability to switch text around and stuff like that. By bandwidth, project hours required in making a card. Once assigned, hours get added to the user's total. I haven't gotten that far ahead yet with the project times and stuff like that. So that is something I do want to implement, but that is something later down the track. And I actually want to expand on that sort of concept and thought. So a lot of the times as a dev, I get asked how many hours a specific task will take me by my producer. They get those hours, they add on a bit of time for the deployment, and then they add on any support time for that. And then they add in a weight of those hours and they key them against a specific task. Now, I want to take this one step further and have the ability so I can assign tasks to other users at the moment. But what I want to have is have the ability for the producer to flag things that need to be done this week and have all those times sort of calculated and be like, all right, cool, we're starting to overload this particular user for this particular week. It's not, we should actually take tasks away from them. So the producer can kind of guess who has more tasks than others. It's still a flawed system. We're assuming that those particular tasks take that particular amount of time. We all know that in very, very good cases and very rare cases that it will take less time, but the vast majority of times it does take slightly longer, or you might have a bad day where your compiler just doesn't want to do the stuff. And then you have cards, create a network diagram. When you have times, maybe you can do project hours instead of input by user card. Don't know where you're going with the network diagram. Projected hours of input, but by user card compiling average. So at the moment, this is just the Kanban board functionality of the thing. We do actually have other functionalities in here, so we can collect customer data, organizations, Kanban boards, projects, requests for changes, requirements, and tasks. And at the moment, sadly, the Kanban cards themselves are extremely lacking, just because it's a very, very minimal viable product at the moment. So yeah, it's a good purpose for program, should be available for companies. Yeah. Project management, articles, network diagram, critical path methods. All right, let's have a look. Just making sure my bitrate isn't crashing. Management systems incorporate the use of network diagrams to show each task activity in a box node. There are other ways of doing so. The convention of putting activity in a box, connected boxes, arrows, is commonly the critical path method. So project begins, do some paperwork, alright, rip out old stuff, knock down old thing. Alright, yeah, I see where this is going. Project over. Hey, never. There's a lot of times where you get around about here and then all of a sudden they ask for more features or something. A, B1, B2, word. Lag time must be included when durations, yep. Well, I'm going to put that over there for reading later. But yeah, sadly at the moment this is very minimal, and of course it has to be dynamic, but you can do a lot of efficiency mass around the launch path to completion. But at the moment this is a very minimal viable product. I just don't have that sort of, I'm not storing any of that information at the moment, but yeah, that would be something very useful down the track if I can get it in. And then even if the user has a lot on their plate, if they have slack hours, it's accounted for. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I've just lost track of my thought. So yeah, that is. Have you tried using GTP3 to code? No, I haven't. No, I haven't used GPT-3, so yeah. Alright, getting back to this, I think this would be good, having the text saying assigned to me, having it as a different color. You can also look at how good they've been at predicting in the past. If you always predict under, then you should always add more leeway, yes. That is, yes, so I do want to actually include the ability to have retrospective, so that way you start recording your hours against these particular tasks, it gets saved against those tasks are against an organization, so then you've got all your cost codes and stuff like that. And then later you can look back and be like, all right, we took a little too long on these particular tasks, we need to readjust our numbers. But yes, a lot of this is quite far in NearBeach's future. Essentially, I want to get some other things down pat first before I actually tackle it. But yes, I do kind of want to get that implemented. All right. Getting into this, so I like the assigned to me. I'm just wondering what would be a better color. And how we would do it. That color doesn't work. Okay, just wait. This is not what I want. So I'm just picking out a random color at the moment, as I'm also thinking how I would structure the data. Probably a bit lighter. Oh, we'll figure that out. All right. So let's jump into the database. So in the database, we have a object assignment table. Essentially what this does is, because NearBeach is made up of a bunch of different objects, this just assigns them to each other without having to use too much meta. And essentially in here, we've got a Kanban board, but we don't have a Kanban card. And I feel like this will probably not be the best place to actually assign cards to. Just because we're then doing a couple levels of meta to actually find all those connections. So what actually happens in here is we'll have a Kanban board that is connected to a group and so forth like that. Yeah, if we actually, let me rephrase that. We've got our Kanban cards. These are connected directly to the board. Card text, sort number, Kanban level, Kanban column, Kanban board, right here. Aren't cards created from tasks? They can be. So I've got to fix this functionality in this, but with the Kanban boards, you can link in projects and tasks. So you can do a link object. You can, let's say you want, or a requirement, and let's say you want this to link in. That's actually a task. I've got to fix this up so that way if someone double clicks on it, it actually brings up the task information instead of just this. So yeah, that is something I've got to fix. I just haven't been spending so much time on the Kanban board functionality. And yeah, that's adding the complexity into this, being like, all right, cool. So now we've got like tasks to, am I assigned to that task? If you already have the task listed, you can do it dependent on a radio button list in your form. What do you mean? So this just is a list that's gone from the back end. So if we just delete this, if you like go, all right, I want a project object, it grabs a list of all projects that can be connected to this. So you can be the, well, when I send this into the back end, the back end will do all that. I've got to figure out essentially how each, because I haven't actually assigned, I haven't set up the how the cards and the links handle the permissions yet. So that is something I've got to do. And yeah, it's just me trying to figure it out. Sounds like every card should be a task or have an assignable object attached. Yeah. And then it's just getting all those assignable objects. Plus, if someone assigns me a card, but it depends on someone finishing something else first, I don't want to look lazy if the dependency is not visible. Yeah. Great add time. I don't know how long it's been. All right. So I've got a couple of options, and okay. So assignment, object assignment. Your needs and is blocked by function. Yes. Yep. And that can be a feature request. Okay, each object should have a is blocked by function. All right, cool. If a project / task etc requires another project task / etc to be completed first, we'll need to add in a simple is blocked by. This can be extended to is blocking or is related to DC. All right, cool. So, yep, we can add that in. Purposely going to put in card in here. And I'll actually put that up at the top. This is old NearBeach, so of course there's that bug in there. I really got to update this. Where did my card go? There it is. All right. So I can add that functionality in, that won't be a problem. Each object should have a is blocked by function or so forth like that. That shouldn't be an issue. Do you want me to add to the GitHub, or is this personal? You can add to the GitHub. If you got feature requests, by all means, please add to the GitHub. Give me 2 seconds. GitHub.com robotic head at NearBeach. All right, cool. So yes, you're more than welcome to add in feature requests and any constructive feedback and so forth like that. I am more than happy for that. So I've just added in the, I don't know how long you're on your ad break for or when you just got back. So I've added in each object should have a is blocked by function. So an object being a project task, a card, Kanban board, etc. like that, except Kanban boards don't block other Kanban boards, but we won't jump into the little degree of that. So yeah, at the moment, I'm still thinking about the permissions. What I could potentially do to save time is, let me just explain how the permissions work. So if something is assigned to a user, usually the group is enough. So if the user can access something, it is that group and the permission. So for example, the administrator can see the task, everyone can see this. Great news. As for assigning, we've got a user field in here, the change user. No, not the change user, sorry, it's just the regular user. Group, assigned user. There we go, up at the top. Don't know why I was looking from the bottom up. Assigned user, and then you would add in that thing. So what we could potentially do in here is hit three fields. We could potentially use 3 fields. So let's say we're assigning a card or a link to a user. So assigning it to a user. We would assign the assigned user. We would then assign the Kanban board, and we would need to assign the card ID. Now, the card ID isn't in there at the moment, but that's a pretty easy thing to actually implement. And it won't take long. It's literally just me keying in, just saying, hey, listen, we're adding in a foreign key into this particular object. That could be good, because then what I could actually do is, instead of having to do layers and layers of SQL or just to get every single card assignment, I just need to look for that Kanban board, and it becomes a really quick and easy query, which would be a lot faster than trying to find every single card assigned to that Kanban board, and then from there looking at this table and being like, all right, every single card that is assigned to this and so forth like that. So I think that would be a better solution to assigning cards and links to users. However, that being said, assigning links, they're done at the object level. That will become a more complicated thing, in which case I do need to do that sort of SQL to dive deeper into that. Okay. So I'm now just thinking out loud for this assignment. I can get rid of that. I can get rid of that. That is, yeah, that's fine. So, oh, there is the link. And that should open in a new tab. But it should also pull over the description. But you can still put notes against it here. So I'm just thinking, we do have an object link in here. We need to pull that information. I'm going to need to build a secondary query that pulls out all the card links. So this is everyone can see this, right? No. Number 7. So it doesn't work. This doesn't work for. Okay. Found bug. Honestly, this is great and you're doing well. But if you want community engagement in the GitHub, it has to be tidied a bit. Maybe where to find file. Oh, all right. Yep. So I do have the Python forms in here. They're under, it's under NearBeach. It should be forms. But if you're after the models, that is also under NearBeach and its models. There is, the models file itself is huge. I've been meaning to split it up. It is currently sitting at a dreadful 2,600 lines, which is just, it will be cleaned up very shortly. This particular file is really, really old. It needs to be cleaned up. All right. So, this is a task. No one can actually determine that it is a task. I need to actually put that as a bug. Linked task in Kanban board does not have object link inside description. Expected results. All right, I'm just going to cheat here. Object link. Object link available. Actual results. No object link. All right, cool. Assign any. Oh well, doesn't matter. Okay. All right, priorities. This is normal bug. Assigned to me. Subsystem CAD Kanban board, which I got to fix up that spelling mistake. Cool. All right. Going back to this. So with the link, this is number 7. Okay. Let's have a look at the cards. Let's figure out how, I've got to get rid of costs. Kanban cards, where are you? Number 7. So as we can see, it is connected to a project. All right. And tasks and requirements. All right, so I'm just thinking at the moment with this, what do I want to do? Because I could easily go from finding this particular project in the object assignments and then finding the users from that and then pulling that information out. I'm just wondering if Django has a union command. Union two sets. Two query sets. Looks, I've got Django models, two custom. To get the query set or just a list of objects. All right, cool. That looks like what we need to do. Let's go over here. Let's scroll back up to our Kanban board. Where do we throw our okay, notes. Okay, cool. So let's start writing up what we've been thinking. So assigning cards to users. Let's make that actually a heading 4. So one, have a new tab on card information where we can assign users / remove users. When assigning a user, the backend will fill out the following fields within the object assignment table. And that is 1, it would be assigned user. 2, Kanban board. 3, the card. Need to actually key into database. All right, cool. When users are opening up a Kanban board, this information is extracted. Users finding assigned linked objects in Kanban board. I gotta use this. Run a simple query against all cards associated with that Kanban board. Find all projects / tasks. Run a subquery from the card results. Subqueries for the following results: projects, tasks, requirements. Use a union method to consolidate the data. Get it to card ID plus user ID. All right, add note. Cool. All right. Oh, sorry, sucks. All right. Here, what we want to do, each card /link that is assigned to a person, a user, sorry, will have a simple text field next to the card number stating it is assigned to them. It is best to color this text to stand out against all other cards. Cool. And having that just there will be fine. We don't have user profiles yet, so we can't just utilize user profiles. User profiles will come later, but we're just not worried too much about it at the moment. Okay, so that's how I would tackle that at the moment. But it is a bit late at the moment. I don't want to tackle that just at the moment right now. Reason because it's late. It'll take me a couple of hours actually to do all of that, but that's fine. Be able to filter links. Log into NearBeach, search and open. Yep. So currently, when we add in link, so link object, we have no way to filter. And this data comes here very, very quickly. So I'm not worried about having a search bar. So what we could potentially do is, what did we do the other day? It was under requirements, wasn't it? We could do something similar to requirements. Where we had search terms for the new requirement wizard, and that will work perfectly fine here. That's easy to do. We can essentially copy some of the code because, hey, it should just work. All right, sorry, I'm just solving the cube at the moment whilst I think about this. Yeah, that should work perfectly fine. So I'm just going to close everything. Have we made any changes? Git status. We should have only made changes to the static folder because we're compiling. Perfect. All right. So what we want to do is essentially add in here. So we're essentially copying new requirement link wizard to Kanban. Yep. All right. So for the VueJS component of the side of things, we're under source JavaScript components, and then we're under the models. Now this would be wizard, won't it? It would be new Kanban link wizard, and we've got new Kanban new requirement link wizard. All right, cool. So what we have is we've got the search results up here, so 66 to 77, so that's all right. Please select. All right, I'm in the right place. Loading placeholder, table containing results, bang that in there like that. Search forums. Now I'm using pretty much the same sort of variable names in here. That's just me being consistent. Search term model. All right, so we need a search term model down in, we're not pulling it in. It will be part of data, element OP, QRS. That should be up here. And then we've got search term model, and that will just be a empty string. And then when it changes, search term model, this will be a watch. And this will be slightly different. So I'm just going to move this over here. I'm just going to bump it like this. And then what I'm doing is I am so it's just a function, pretty simple function. what we need to do is add in the filtered results like we did before. So this dot object filtered results equals response data, like so, like we did before. Clear out search model, term model. This dot search term model equals nothing. Sweet. Okay. So object results and then object filtered results. Sometimes they're going to be the same. And then up here, object filtered results, object filtered results. Object filtered results. All right, coming down here, what we want to actually do is something very, very similar. So if this dot search term models equals nothing, or this dot search term model equals null, what we want to do is this dot object filtered results equals this dot object results. Yeah, and then that should be just a return. That should also be a return up there. Coming down here, what we have is update the filters. Is it just going to be the exact same thing? It's going to be the exact same thing. All right. Yeah. This could be placed in a mixin. Yes, it can be placed in a mixin, but it's going to have a different structure if it gets placed into a mixin. All right, let's test it. Cool. So new Kanban link wizard. All right, done and dusted. That was pretty easy to do. It will need some refinement on it. I will eventually be able to split up all those and then filter on any of those. But for the moment, it is done. What we'll need to do is make a note that we need to actually refactor those two components because they're both the same. They're both going to do the same thing. We might as well pull them out, put them in a mixin, and actually have the code only done in one place. All right. So in the meantime, this is ready for QA. So what I'll do is I will put in a reminder, new issue, a duplicated code for, I'm just going to copy the component names. function. Search term model under the watch could potentially be placed under a mixin, as the code is exactly the same and does the same functionality. Okay, cool. That's just really a reminder. This isn't this is normal. This is really it's a task submitted. It is assigned to me. Subsystem. This is MISC. Okay, great. Cool. All right. Where's my Kanban board? All right, have auto block dialog asking user why card is blocked. All right, cool. So this is an old one, which I've been meaning to do for ages. So essentially, let's say we have a block column and I'm like putting this card into the block column. The person has requested just a simple modal to pop up. Essentially, it will be pretty much just the notes modal type of thing, being like, hey, this has happened. You've just moved your card into the blocked column. We want you to explain why it's in blocked. And that's it. It's just a simple thing. The person adds in a note. It's optional. They can escape, not bother. That way, when people look at the card again later in the future, it can state blocked. Note, this was blocked on this date for this particular reason. And so forth like that. So we need a flag against that column. So if we edit the Kanban board, the idea is, let's say we have a column, they click on this. We could have options down here. One message was deleted, nocturne message. Can't hear you, music too loud. Oh, did the music get really loud? I hate when this, sorry, I'm just gonna refresh. Balance, it should be all on mic. I'll tell you what, I'll pause the music. There we go. I can't turn it down any further. That was weird. Vibes are perfect. Thank you. All right. So sorry, just coming back to this. So the idea is I'll have a flag on these properties on the columns. So it could be like blocked, completed, and so forth like that, where I could potentially do something with that information. So for example, we can have a couple of columns just being like in progress and all that kind of stuff. I don't have that set up in NearBeach at the moment. So this is something I do want to actually set up. That way we can flag which cards are currently running. So we're not going to do this tonight, but we'll talk about it. So if we go to Kanban columns, as you can see, these are all the columns. We click them open. We don't have that information in here. But what we could do is we could put it in here. And that information does carry to the front. So if we actually go to the view sort of stuff and go Kanban information, you'll see that we've got level results, we've got column results. And as you can see, it does pull in that information in here. All I need to do is when that moves into here, there is a function called draggable. And so when it goes into here, there's a function which draggable will essentially make a trigger. And then I can hijack that to do what to do those checks to make sure if a modal needs to appear. So if we go under Kanban board, we go to, now this is down all the way down into card. Now we are going to restructure this. I just remembered that I do want to put in a read-only sort of thing, which will strip out draggable. So Kanban card, once that's done, it will be the read-only component. Kanban card draggable will be the draggable component, but let's not worry about that at the moment. Let's just have a look at this. So with the draggable on end, we have an on end event. So that is a function down here. On end, we've got a function. It does a bunch of stuff to send data into the back end. It does a bunch of stuff to make sure that all the cards are in order and all that kind of stuff. And oh, by the way, thank you very much, Ready OK Go. Thank you. I do try to make the vibes as nice as possible. And then it sends the data. So we could hijack down here after the Axios or before the Axios, it doesn't really matter, to ask the user, hey, what's gone wrong? Oh, sorry, not what's gone wrong. Hey, why is this blocked? So yeah, let's write that up. And then I'll probably call it there because it's getting almost 10 o'clock here. So unless we can talk about one more little tiny thing. So let's add in the notes. Let's make sure I've got the right thing. Have block dialog. All right, cool. So where would I do it? So using the component, it is Kanban card, soon to be Kanban card draggable. We can utilize the method / function called onEnd, where we will call this information. Now this is just a bit of thing. We just need to notify the modal which card ID we are editing. So yes, now the problem is if someone is superhuman speed, moves one card and quickly moves another card before this modal will appear, it will essentially hopefully pick the second card as the ID, which makes sense. Someone moving that fast is just, it would be ridiculous though. Okay, we need to notify the modal which card ID we are editing. This can be done via either, or they're looking at it on a potato. Yeah, potato. Yep, I get it. It took me a little while. Yes, yeah, because that would take a little while to, when the card moves over. Yeah. Actually, one thing I didn't think about, I should get a really old, actually I've got my Raspberry Pi 1 and Raspberry Pi 2 here. I could boot them up and actually test it out on something really slow to see if NearBeach struggles and where it struggles too. We need to also, which reminds me, I need to actually reinstall 1 or Pi 2, fill up the database as much as possible and actually stress test it. But that is a thing that I'll probably do during the holidays. I have an old B somewhere. Well, Yeah, the B. I've got the 1B. Good old little thing. There was a stream. I didn't actually save it, but there was a stream where I tried installing NearBeach on this. We got to the database side of things, and essentially it felt like an hour to go anywhere, and I was there going da 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 da. So I feel like the database on this won't run very well, but that being said, I do kind of want to test it out, and I do want to populate it with lots of data to see how slow I can get NearBeach to run and to see if it works okay at that speed. I've load tested NearBeach before because I've got NearBeach on serverless stuff and it was working pretty fine. Can you run it off SQLite? Yes, you can. That actually might be an idea, just to run it off SQLite instead of MySQL. Yeah. It was, let's just say, it took a while to migrate the files across. All right, we need to modify the modal. Which card is we editing? This can be done this can be done via either Vuex or pass through, depending where we are setting up this modal, which will probably belong at the top level. So we need Vuex in this sort of case, because Vuex will be a lot easier to do. We can watch that component, we can watch that variable, and we can edit the variable in two different spots, like completely different spots. It could give it a pre-created database too. That is actually a really good idea. Yep. And then I just connect it to it. Do you have your language set to pirate? I do ums and ahs quite a bit. I do apologize. I'm glad no one just, makes a compilation of them. It would be funny though. But there will be a lot of them. Also, I say so a lot. When I'm thinking, I'm like, so. And I'm just about to say so again as I'm reading this out. All right, so we need to notify the modal which card ID we are editing. This can be done either Vuex or pass through, depending on where we set up the modal. Yeah, all right, cool. I'm happy with this. All right, dashboard wizard about assigned cards. This is where we need that block sort of stuff. So this will be connected to, sorry, no, I've known about it for ages. This is connected to card 141. So connected to card, we will need a simple query to extract all cards that the user is currently assigned to. From there, we can get a distinct list of Kanban boards. Dashboard widget. So this one shouldn't be too hard to do, but it is actually blocked by card for 141. So yes. We could potentially do that. Yeah. And then we've added some more functionality. Yay. Assign cards to users. Did I actually state that I wanted? Yep, I did. I also want to actually put in a new card in here. Flag have priority settings for cards. Each card should have a priority setting, highest, high, normal, low, lowest. Each card should have a priority settings. Those cards with the higher priority settings should have color flags against the card. I.E. We will have a border left, and let's say red, solid, and we had something like 7 pixels. Cool. Looks like the routing isn't set up properly in my lab now. I have to wait for the owner to come online. Oh no. All right, so we're almost at 10. We might as well find someone to raid. I am hoping that, so the last 2 raids, so the 2 raids ago, I accidentally raided someone who was speaking Italian, and I didn't realize because I never turned up the volume or anything like that. And the second one, I raided someone just as they were raiding someone else, and I'm hoping that you guys got sent over with them. So this I'm gonna do just new retro programming. Oh, okay, so they're the Italian one. All right, so donut pointer. The Italian dude is nice. Yeah, okay, that's good to hear. Yeah. Now, I haven't rated donut pointer in ages. He's usually doing security and stuff like that, but hey, it could be very interesting. And who's Alvin Menges? I don't know. All right, let's get past the ads. Let's see what he's doing. So yeah, let's raid donut pointer. He also speaks English. Yes, I'm glad that he did, because the instant the raid happened, I turned on the sound and was speaking Italian. I was like, oh, oops. And thank you very much, Ready OK Go, for being here. I hope I see you again sometime soon. I've been listening to him a fair bit as I'm trying to learn Italian. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so let's raid donut pointer. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. It has been great today. We have gotten some stuff done. We are also planning how we're going to do some other stuff. The permissions, like assigning tasks, cards to users and stuff like that, is a big one. But I do believe we've figured it out. We've just got to make sure that the method is efficient enough for, you know, people. Did I not raid properly? No, I didn't. Whoops, that is my bad. There we go. All right. So yes, thank you very much, everyone, for coming. It has been great. I will be back here. So today's Wednesday for me. I'll be back here Friday for me. It'll be Thursday for those who are in the US and so forth like that. US, Canada, Mexico. I don't think I've ever had anyone from Brazil or anything like that. So yeah. Thank you very much for coming, and yes, I will see you guys on Friday or Thursday your time. So yeah, thank you very much.
That makes a CD. Hey, robotic head. That makes AB.